All right, Leo, welcome to your weekly Sidereal astrology forecast. This is for the 12th of October through the 18th. My name is Athen. So this is, of course, for Sidereal astrology. If you're new to this type of astrology, do check the description down below for more information because your sign might be different. All right, Leo, another transformative week from the past couple months. We've had a lot of this solar eclipse energy, and this week is no exception. We've got a new moon taking place in your second house of finances, of your sense of self-worth, of confidence, of your values in life. I think there'll be some new values for all of you. This is for the next couple of weeks of the lunar cycle, but also the next 3 to 6 months of the solar cycle of that second house for you. So as you can see here in the transit graph, it's actually a very supportive week, a lot of blue energy, which I'll talk about. There are some challenges, which I'll also mention, one of which is right on Monday. This is really coming out of last week on Sunday, when the sun was opposing up to Uranus, which is your ruler. So if coming into this week, you're feeling like making some sudden changes, or you're feeling that Uranus energy of the deeper aspects of life, the beginnings, endings, life, death, and all of that is, really opposing and it kind of things in conflict with these new things you want to start around the material aspects of life, whether it's financial or otherwise, then it's about finding the balance with that, the middle point between what you are involved with financially, materially, with your values on the earthly level, as well as what's important to you on the deep level. But do remember with the South Node, in the 8th house, there's a lot of old energies being released that have to do with transformation, that have to do with the endings, which have to do with the deeper stuff, which just at a certain point no longer serves you. So being aware of that, but at the same time, Uranus is helping you find freedom there. And it's all about seeing life as a sort of duality between the earthly and non-earthly, material, non-material, and how to have both and really see them as both. I mean, they're really one and the same thing. When it's even with like finances, for example, it's like, okay, what do these finances actually provide? What are they actually giving me that I actually enjoy on the non-material level? So anyways, a balance with that, and this new moon is going to be aspecting an opposition up to Uranus and a square from Pluto, this T-square. And this square has been going on for the past few years. So here it can be very constructive actually on Monday. It's a good time to being open to change, especially with those material values. So if you've been guided to, and again, this is subtle because the new moon's a low energy time period. And so as the week unfolds, this will become more apparent. But the more willing you are to make change, really getting rid of the pillars, the essential foundation of your confidence, of your values, of the material stuff, the better, because that's the square energy used very constructively from Pluto. Of course, it's coming from compassion. It's staying balanced in the process, especially when it has to do with you expressing yourself. But your self-expression has been changing big time over the past many years, and the more willing you are to step into that power, to create, to express from the heart, from the centered place, then it becomes that much more balanced, that much more grounded. And again, seeing that there is these deeper elements of life to a certain point, and seeing how, for example, finances can be freeing when we're not so caught up into the material side of them, and maybe a little bit more into the non-material side of them in terms of what are we grateful for, what is it that we really enjoy about those material things, etc. So anyways, that's the square energy. It can be very constructive depending on our approach to it. And it's all around these new beginnings relating to the things you value, specifically on the material side of things. Now, all of this has been reflective. Mercury has been retrograde in the second house. So if you feel like you've been redoing the finances, maybe the way you think about those material values, all of that starts to move forward. Mercury gains his momentum. So that's nice. And I think your understanding, and I think the daily communication or the daily understanding of these things, the way you work with maybe the finances, starts to move forward a lot easier. And there's more understanding. There was probably a shift of understanding last weekend when Mercury went direct here, which now can be utilized and you can use to understand and apply regarding finances, material values, etc. So this is going to be the emphasis this early part of the week, but also Saturn's going to be sextiling Mercury. So I think your intellect should be quite sharp, I think for all of us really. And I think when you have that long-term approach, patience, pragmatism, and a willingness to work hard with those material financial things, then it's very supportive from Saturn. And this is a Saturn that's going into your 4th house now. So for the next couple of years, it's about setting roots. And the more you set roots, whether it's with your home, with family, past roots, that's going to be helping you gain a foundation for the rest of your life. Because not only is the fourth house, the bottom of the charts, our foundations, but that's what Saturn represents, is where we can build a foundation for the other areas of our life. So yeah, some things to consider there, and I think those energies will continue to unfold subtly this week around home and family, past and roots. So that's the first half. The second half of the week has a bit of a different energy, and this is where Mars conjoins up to Jupiter and then trines up to Pluto. So very nice aspect. Jupiter has already been trining up to Pluto, so there should be plenty of supportive energy for you to change yourself. Maybe it's your self-image. Maybe it's the way you carry yourself. Maybe it's your relationships. Mars does naturally rule your fourth and your ninth house, so maybe it's changes to your philosophy, your outlook on life, what's possible in life. Maybe home, family. Some of you might be changing locations or moving or renovating or something like that. But in either case, at the very least, you should be quite optimistic about those home family matters. Mars going over Jupiter can be quite expansive. There's an optimism, and all of that is very supportive to your life path, especially when it comes to your passions in life, to you expressing yourself, and anything else that you have been sort of rebuilding and structuring regarding that self-expression and creativity. Could be a small business or something. Depends on your personal chart. But anyways, Jupiter also does rule that fifth house and your eighth house. So I think there's really deep changes to you psychologically this week. But again, it's easy. It's because you're seeing the possibilities. You're seeing the optimism. And with the trine, I always recommend, instead of letting it pass us by, because easy aspects can just pass us by, working with this. It's a great week to really making changes to you, making changes to the way you assert yourself, express yourself, etc. And through that, it's a good way to move forward. So that's the second half. The second half of the week also does have Venus opposing up to Neptune. So here, it's nothing new here. There's been all this uncertainty, perhaps about relationships, about your one-on-one connections of all kinds. And, now Venus is the last of the fast-moving planets to go over this position of this whole cycle. So it's nothing new. I think you're used to it. For you, it probably has to do with your career and your communication. So uncertainty with where the career is going or with the way you're expressing yourself or communicating things is totally natural. It's all about having faith and trust, and there's a divine plan at work with that. And the more willing you are to have that faith and trust in a balanced way, then it can become, again, very constructive. So this week, Leo, the high point is certainly this new moon at the beginning of the week, relating to the material, financial values of life, your self-esteem, your confidence in terms of what you can achieve, what you can go after. New beginnings now for about the next 6 months. Things start to move forward too for you there with Mercury direct, and opportunities to expand, opportunities to learn more philosophically, maybe do some light traveling, light adventure, assert yourself in a healthy way, maybe new things around home, family, philosophy, spirituality, etc. So Leo, have a great week. Thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, please let me know, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.